Welcome back. I'm Elaine Shea, and this is John Davies at Sidebar, and we are here with the CEO of Elemental Excelerator, who you may have seen on stage earlier today during our opening plenary, Dawn Lippert. Welcome, Dawn.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So glad to have you. Elemental Excelerator has been a great partner with us at Verge Hawaii and also our Verge flagship. And as you may recall, she moderated a really key conversation with the governor, Governor David Ige, and Joshua Stanroe, who's the Chief Resilience Officer of the City and County of Honolulu. One of the questions that we were wondering was, when you're transitioning to 100% clean energy and transportation, it's easy to engage the people who obviously are, that's their job. They're going to be infected by it, but what are obviously there are other people that need to be part of the solution. So who are the hardest groups to activate?
I think transportation is like you said, pretty tough. It actually touches everyone.
Yeah.
I think that the hardest groups to activate are essentially just the public, and also some of the companies that are sort of used to how we've done business for the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Transportation really hasn't changed that much in some of these really car-centric areas, including Hawaii, in that time period. So I think that one of the things that we're really interested in the future of mobility is just this collision of sharing and digital and new mobility solutions that come at the center of that, and electrification, right? So it's these three things, sort of sharing technology and electrification, that are really going to change the way that transportation mobility works. And I think the key is being really user-centric and user-minded when we're going after that. And Lime Scooter is a really interesting example. It came up at the tail end of our conversation with Josh and the governor, and it's an example of significant user demand. They've gotten hundreds and thousands of rides in the couple days they were here in Honolulu or in other cities around the world, and they were sort of just blanketed into these cities. And so you see users wanting to have new last mile solutions and ease of accessibility, and those things sort of colliding with the traditional way we've done things. So I think the cities that are going to be effective at engaging people in this solution are going to be the ones that really figure that out as quickly as possible and have formats and forums for the public to say what it is that's important to them while we figure that out.
So in the case of the Lime Scooter things, hang on one second, tons of adoption, but then it got shut down so fast, right, in Honolulu, because they didn't have permits or something, where they're dockless scooters, for those of you who don't know Lime. Yeah. So, in that case, the city really wasn't coordinated with understanding how to allow a glide path for something that the users wanted, right?
Right, and that actually happened all over the world. So I think that what we're seeing is just this incredible tension between sort of solutions of the future and the way we've done business in the past. And that spot is a spot of enormous friction, and this is a really acute example of it, but we're seeing it with Uber, Lyft, other ride-sharing services. We're seeing it really across mobility, because it gets to the core of what is public sector doing, what is the private sector doing, and where do those things mesh and interact. And right there is that sort of technology friction that we're seeing. So, Hawaii and Honolulu have an amazing opportunity to rethink that coupling mechanism. What does that look like for technology, for the private sector and the public sector to work together there? And we're definitely not there yet in terms of having a final solution, but I'm really excited about the opportunity to work on that kind of problem.
So we only have about another minute or so to go, but you've been a great partner with us for the last 3 years. And so what have you been working on in this past year since we were here?
Sure. So we're working on expanding the conversation beyond energy transformation and bringing in startups in water and agriculture. We've invested in 63 startups so far. We're usually about doing 12 or 15 a year. This year we're kicking that up to about 18 or 20 startups, and we'll be announcing them in the fall. And one thing I'm really excited about is this new track that we've launched called Equity and Access Track. It's focused on how do you bring in companies that are specifically serving underserved populations, hard to reach populations, with mobility services, water, with food and ag, and make sure that they're folded in and actually don't get technology second or third, but actually get it first and are first users and sort of first beneficiaries of our clean energy transformation.
That's
wow.
exciting.
Yeah, it's very tied in with the Aloha spirit, as what Ramsey and the opening panel did. So thank you so much, Dawn, and appreciate your leadership in Elemental Accelerator.
Thank you to you and Verge.
So stay tuned, we'll be back with